Kevin here for Expedition Hemispheres. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most important pieces of gear you can have on any backpacking trip, a backpack. Today, we're going to be talking about the Gossamer Gear G4-20 42 Ultralight. Let's start talking about a few specs just to start things off here. So the 42-liter bag is going to be 21.6 ounces, which comes out to 1.35 pounds. So very light for a 42-liter bag. There are some out there that you can find lighter, but not a whole lot, to be honest with you. One of the things I like about this pack in particular is that where it's not as light as a few that are out there, it certainly has a couple of creature comforts that I particularly think are worth the weight. The materials used in this bag are a 70D and 100D Robic nylon, and they're DWR coated for waterproofing. The bag is not waterproof, but it is going to repel water quite well. So at the top, I'll just start at the obvious. We got it's non-helmet based. This is a roll top bag. And there's a small pocket right at the top front, and depending on how full you have it, it could be situated more up towards the top. If it's a little less full, it's gonna kind of roll towards the front. But it is a pocket probably about 4.5 inches deep and about 8 inches wide. It's kind of like the size of a fanny pack is the best way to describe it. Like your standard fanny pack is about the size of this pocket right here. It's got no organizers inside, just a bare pocket. So from there, we've got our clasp at the top. This is just what cinches everything down at the very end, keeps it nice and tight. And we've got our two buckles on the side. These two buckles on the side are what secure everything. So from here you would unroll, and this is where your stuffing of your main compartment happens. So as you can see, it rolls out quite a bit, and you can pack this thing full enough to where you're only getting 1 or 2 rolls. You're gaining a little height in the pack, but it handles it just fine. This bag is really gonna be rated up to about 30, 35 pounds is pushing it. Where it's gonna excel is 25 and under. I would say the place you're gonna feel it the most is it's gonna start bearing a majority of the weight on the shoulders, on your upper traps, and you're gonna get sore in there. And also, if you're that heavy in a bag like this, it's gonna be really hard to balance the load, so it's just not quite gonna carry right. Once you roll it, they kind of come down and create a secure attachment. So you've got no leakage. It's really well sealed off due to the roll. And your main compartment is just what you think, a main compartment. There are a couple of small holes at the bottom for a little bit of moisture runoff if you get any in there. And there is also a spot for a pass-through for a hydration hose. And I believe, yes, it is on both sides. So whether you're going to your left shoulder or your right shoulder, if you're using a hydration hose, those are there. There's also a ring at the top, and I think this is most likely for carrying a hydration system. It would hook into there, and you would need to find an attachment that would work for you. It doesn't have a dedicated slide pocket. Once again, one of the reductions in weight. All right, so we're gonna move over to the back of the pack, and you're gonna see we have a single carry handle. And then we've got our straps. So one thing that is gonna take this a little bit heavier than some of the other ultralight bags is that it does have some nice cushion in these pads. They are minimal. They're also very breathable. So you can feel when you squish on this, it's like an open cell, for lack of a better term. So it's gonna breathe really well. That's the word I was looking for. So any moisture that builds up in there is gonna really breathe through. They're not gonna get soaking wet. We've got 2 mesh liners here you can see. Inside of these, you have the pad for your back, which also is gonna double as a really nice camp sit pad, so you don't have to carry an extra. Really handy, kind of consolidation of gear is huge. And I will say this pad, if you're carrying the right amount of weight in this bag, that 25 pounds, this pad is plenty. It's really, really comfortable. One of the things while we're at the straps that I like to carry is also a Gossamer Gear. They sell 2 sizes in this pouch, but this pouch will just strap onto your shoulder pad, and it gives you a really nice spot to put your phone, lip balm, little suntan lotion stick, any little goodies like that that you want highly accessible. Down here you got your standard issue chest strap, so it clicks together, and that's just gonna keep the pads from like coming out on you as you hike. It keeps them nice and square on the shoulders. They do go up and down, so you can adjust where that clip actually is. You've got a couple attachable points here, so you can get clever with your accessories, and you can carabiner stuff on, you can tie stuff on. Let's come down to the hip belt. So the hip belt on these is the same material as the shoulder straps, so nice and breathable, fair amount of cushion, and both sides have actually a pretty good sized pocket. So these pockets, personally, I keep my snacks in one and I keep my lunch in the other so my food is accessible. You could easily fit whatever you want in here and however you like to carry your gear. Let's head to the side here. So we've got side pockets on both sides. One is taller than the other. You can use these for anything you want. I personally keep smart water bottle and water filter and other accessible items in these. The other side is normally where I'll keep taller items, like if I'm not using my trekking poles or the poles from my tent, things like that. But having said that, you can put anything you want in there. One of my favorite features of this bag is right up front. I think Gossamer Gear's really got this figured out in the way that they've designed this pocket. So it's subtle, but this is a breathable mesh here, so it is gonna breathe. You can put your wet gear here to dry while you're hiking, but it is going to massively increase your storage space. The amount of stuff you can put in this outer pocket is a lot more than you think. You can fit a whole tent in here easy, plus some. It's a really, really handy pocket. Again, it's got a small hole at the bottom for drainage since this is commonly used to keep wet gear. The bungee you see on the front is actually an add-on. They sell the bungees through Gossamer Gear, but I like having it on there because I can just slide my shoes. I carry Crocs. I can slide my Crocs in there and just cinch them down. Also layers that come off during the day. Normally I'll have whoever I'm hiking with, if they don't mind helping me out, just kind of tuck it in there for me so I don't even have to take my pack off. But it just makes a nice way of holding a few extra things on the outside that don't quite fit right on the inside, like Crocs. Hook at the bottom. This is really good for trekking poles when you're not using them. I guess if you had an ice axe, this is not really an alpine bag at all, but it does offer a way to slip something in and hold to it. That's about it as far as this bag feature-wise. You can see it's pretty basic. So you've got side pockets, front pocket, small pocket on the top. That's kind of part of what makes these great. They're nice and simple, super practical. The space that you have to use is very usable, and I absolutely love that about it. Thanks for checking out today's gear review. Do us a favor and like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you have any comments or questions or have experience with the pack in particular, put it in the comments. We're gonna do our best to read those and respond to them. And as always, keep adventuring.